I'm Kristen Platts from My Ag Life, and we're at the 2024 Almond Conference, and I'm here with Raymond Mireles. He is the Fruit and Almond Advisor for Fresno and Tulare counties, and he's presenting new research on a disease in almonds called butt rot pathogen. And Raymond, can you first explain when and where you guys found this, and how is it affecting almond trees?
Yeah, sure. So back in December of 2023, we got called out on a farm call. We, as in other farm advisors, Elizabeth Finchner and as well as Mohammed Yagamor down in Kern County, got called out to a farm call where they're experiencing Ganoderma aspersum, which essentially is a wood decaying fungus. And you're starting to see some of the trees start to fall over due to high winds, and as well as a lot of waterlogging in the soil causes that root structure to degrade and as well just fall over. So they had some concerns with Ganoderma, especially with some fruiting bodies, how we have pictures here, and so they were just looking for ways to manage it, which kind of led us into sort of going into some research with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was talking to you earlier, and you were telling me that this has been associated. So why is that important? Can you talk more about that, and what should growers be looking for, especially if they have crown gall in their orchards?
Right. Yeah. Ultimately, this is what the project is all about. Essentially, Mohammed Yagamor had this idea that crown gall may be predisposing the tree to Ganoderma, and so ultimately, this is what we want to look into further. Ultimately, Agrobacterium tumefacius, which is crown gall, is essentially a agrobacterium that lives within the soil and ultimately is taken up by the roots from the tree and ultimately affecting the tree. And as I said before, we saw association in this study where Agrobacterium tumefacius, which is crown gall, is predisposing the tree to Ganoderma. And so ultimately, we want to see if this is prevalent in other orchards as well. So we're continuing to take a look at that.
And I don't know if you already mentioned this, but you had said earlier that it's really affecting younger trees. Is that right?
Yeah, in the past studies, especially with Ganoderma aspersum, it was known to affect younger almond orchards. Ganoderma aspersum, Ganoderma, the species has been around for a while, but this specific species, the Ganoderma aspersum, tends to affect younger almond orchards.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that you're just exactly a year into this study. I think you said December 2023 is when you guys first started it. Being so early in the research, what's next on the horizon? And then just lastly, what else can growers be looking out for, and what should they know about this new disease?
Yeah, ultimately what's next for this study is looking at more orchards, looking at more surveys, but then also starting to look at some of the management techniques or tools that's available to growers. We do have some K-Phyte, using some phosphites to see how that helps out with limiting the disease or maybe disease suppression. We're also looking at maybe knocking off the conchs and seeing how that works out. But ultimately with this study, we were able to find out more or less the physiology of the fungus and understand it a little bit more. But ultimately, growers should be looking out for conchs or maybe some of those trees lying over or deciding to fall over. Take a look and see if you see any of Ganoderma infection or anything like that, or even if you see crown gall associated with Ganoderma somewhere in there. But quite typically with the Ganoderma, you'll see a good sized conch on the butt of the tree, and that should give you a good idea of what's out there.
Okay, so at least it's visible to the naked eye. Okay, and then if growers do see this in their orchard, should they just contact their local farm advisor, and then they can get in touch with you or someone else that's doing this research?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for orchards to survey, so if anything's out there, we would be happy to take a look at that.
That too. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.